greedy hands and your greedy hearts, babe. You got money to burn, and I'm gonna take it. I want you to shut that door. Nobody's going anywhere. Don't you fucking move! I said don't you fucking move! I want everybody over in that corner right there. You better drop your money, drop your change, drop those cards. Baby, you act like you're not scared, like you got no fear. I can taste it, man. I can see it in your eyes. You act like you're not scared, like you got no fear. I'm gonna take it from you. Stick your hands up. I said, stick your hands up. Stick your hands up. This is a motherfucking stick up.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to tonight's Learning Fives show match featuring, 101 Terrible Thieves versus Executioner's Calling. I am Sir Potato the Ninth, joined here by Can Opener Dude, and we are getting right into the bands.
Oh, it's Terrible Thieves. I thought it was like, I could have sworn it was something else, honestly. But anyway, yeah, I'm Ken Opener Dude. It's great to be back. Sorry I missed y'all in the coaches show match, but I was in court. So, getting right into the bands here, I want to make sure everyone is aware that I am actually the understudy for Team Executioner's Calling, but I did not pick the name. So, if any
bias?
If any bias comes out, it doesn't actually exist. It's just your imagination. So, getting into the bands here, Katarina, I don't know. She does damage. Pantheon again does damage. Rengar and Vayne, both of them very good right now, as the game seems to be stalling out as far as the meta goes. So Rengar and Vayne both scale reasonably well. So having them off the table is good. Sejuani very, very strong, as always, as is tradition. And Orianna, just a very solid mid laner. Don't want to let her through.
Mm-hmm.
And then we have picks. Hooray!
Yep, so far we got the Jace on the blue side, and then the Galio and Gragas coming out on the red side for Executioner's Calling. I am a big fan of Galio and Gragas together because of the insane engage potential. You just have Gragas, he doesn't even need to toss an explosive cask. He can just body slam his way into a fight, and then Galio joins him with the heroic slam, and that is an insane engage that you can get right off the bat.
Yeah, it is a very, very strong engage, and our tasty friend in the top lane, I know him from various previous seasons. If nothing else, his mechanical skill is great, but I'm sure he's a wonderful person otherwise as well. It's just I can only speak to his mechanical skill, and it is spot on, so I'm expecting some good ults coming out of him. However, on the Executioner's Calling side, the Jace, that could be a very strong pick into Galio, depending on how it's played. I know that Jivix, or Java as he is known in Discord, he has a propensity to play as a lane bully. So if he can keep this Galio down, it will certainly do good things for his team, where they've got a Malzahar in the mid lane who can continuously push out, and a Vi who's going to try and snowball lanes and do as much damage as possible.
Absolutely. You know, I'm not that excited to be seeing Malzahar being played, just because I'm not that big of a fan of Malzahar as a champion. He's so boring, and he's very infuriating to play against. He does insane amounts of damage pre-level 6 and post-level 6. Outside of buying a QSS, there's not really much you can do to outplay him if you're playing any squishy champion, because you just get held down, and then just your health bar gets depleted faster than the gas of a... I don't know where I'm going with that. You get the point.
I get where you're going with that. I want to see how the Ahri plays into Malzahar, because we've seen Zilean use his counter pick in the LCS, but that's a very, very new thing. This just came out basically yesterday, to use him as a counter pick this season, considering the season just started yesterday. So we'll have to see how the Ahri matchup goes, but I imagine she won't have too much of a trouble, or rather, Luke won't have too much trouble. In the bot lane, however, this is going to be an interesting matchup. Varus Karma, very pokey, likes to try and keep the enemy lane down, whereas Taric and Jinx, they're just going to farm. So this could really go either way, but I'm excited to see if this Jinx can get off the ground. It's going to be very, very difficult to keep this bot lane down, especially with the Taric protecting her.
Absolutely. And I, for one, am so excited to see Jinx and Varus both building Relic Shield and taking Overheal and getting that, like, 500 health shield.
Yeah.
Hooray,
it's gonna be so much fun.
Yeah. And how everybody's going to be buying stopwatches. Because you can see on 101 Terrible Thieves, they do have a really good dive composition with Taric, with Vi, and even to a point with Jason Malzahar. Taric's able to, of course, get the invulnerability team-wide, and then Vi is able to go in super far into the enemy team. And so there's bound to be some stopwatch purchases in the game, so that is definitely something to keep an eye out for.
Yeah, and with the Mastery giving you one for free, it's entirely possible we could see quite a few coming out, even without a single piece of gold spent on them. And even the terrible 101 have a serious amount of engage with the Galio and the Gragas, like we talked about, and the Ahri having significant dive pressure as well. So it's entirely possible that Executioner's Calling will be building or receiving some stopwatches as well. So it could, honestly, it's going to be a lot of stopwatches, is what we're saying. Price for the stopwatches. But that being said, we do have a bit of a spectator delay to count down here. So I think we're going to do that, unless you have any last minute thoughts to throw out there, Potato.
I do not.
All right, well then we're going to hand it back over to some music, hopefully some more calming music than last time. But we'll get it in there, and then we'll get on to the Rift, and we'll see you all on the other side of the pause. we're back into game. Potato is somewhere. There he is. So
I
we're into
am
game.
currently experiencing some technical difficulties, so I will
He's
be right in.
He's experiencing some technical difficulties, and I am here in game. We are in this here show match between the Executioners Calling on the blue team here, going up against 101 Terrible Thieves, who are probably all very nice people in real life, and they're on the red team. So we're going to see how this game progresses here. Once again, I am Can Opener Dude. I am joined by Sir Potato the 9th, and we're going to get into game here. Not a whole lot going on this early on, just some standard lines of scrimmage.
Why don't you introduce the teams?
I can do that for you. In the top lane, we have, for Executioners Calling, we have Jivix, also known as Java, playing Jace. Ziggy, my dude, in the jungle on Vi. Q Queenie in the mid lane on that Malzahar. And Castillo and Will Spect Me in the bot lane on Jinx and Taric, respectively. On the other team, we have Tasty on Galio up in that top lane. Zephyr Ravenswar playing Gragas in the jungle. Luke in the mid lane on Ahri. A remover of some description playing that ADC Varus, and a Tiny Panther as his support.
All right. And as I am loading in, what are some things that we should be looking out for in this game?
Early game, it's going to be all about those cheeky ganks, because there is some cheeky ganks going to happen, basically. I'm sorry, I'm getting pinged in various servers. And
Understandable.
I'm trying to deal with that right now.
Oh, Tasty Tampon getting chunked out by Javix. That's some nice trading from, is it Jivix, I believe? We'll go with that.
Jivix, Java, one of the two.
We'll figure it out. I think it's, I think it's a little interesting. Oh, in the mid lane, Q Queenie getting traded on by Luke. Chunked down to about 25% health. That is not what you want to be seeing.
Yeah, indeed. This mid lane in particular is on fire right now, and in the top lane as well. There's quite a bit of fun happening. Like I said, Java playing very aggressive. That's going to be first blood. Sorry, I kind of took over your role there for a second, but Ziggy, my dude, coming in, burning the flash to make sure Tasty, just Tasty. I'm sorry, I am reading words that aren't actually there, totally.
Yeah, just as Tasty. I'm not sure what you're talking about there.
Yeah, in any case, that's what I'm talking about here. Ziggy, my dude, and Zephyr Ravenswar are both very, very strong on these early game junglers here, with the ability to get in and apply some hard CC and some damage fairly quickly. I expect that this Gragas here, played by Zephyr, will be going towards the bot lane to see if he can do a return gank on this bot lane in retaliation for that top lane gank. They really want to try and get these lanes snowballing with that early pressure, because the longer the game goes on, the less impactful those ganks are going to become. Yes,
sir. As I was saying earlier, the two things that I think are very important pretty important and pretty interesting to point out. Tasty in the top lane on Galio actually took Unsealed Spellbook, which I'm not sure Galio is somebody that truly benefits a lot from Unsealed Spellbook. That being said, I don't know a whole lot about what Galio is supposed to take, nor do I claim to, but I'm struggling to see the merit of taking Unsealed Spellbook on Galio. I guess you're able to...
There's not really another summoner spell that's particularly good on him, but...
In the mid... Oh, Zephyr getting chunked out, forced flash away. Luke coming in for the backup. Ziggy, my dude, still going on. Jivix in the top lane, getting chunked down a lot by Tasty. Both are able to escape in everybody's respective lanes.
Yeah,
Anyways.
A lot of scrappiness going on in this game. I love it. I love it. After the boring 65-plus minute games and that SKT game that went to 95 minutes, it's nice to see some action.
Yeah, some early game fights. That's exactly the type of excitement that comes out of the Learning 5 show matches.
Exactly. This is why you watch us instead of Clutch Gaming versus Cloud9. In any case, with that being said... Oh, hello.
Oh no, Ziggy my dude in the bottom lane, and I am failing to load it up.
Nothing happened, it's good. Oh, but Will Spect me taking quite a bit of damage there. He's gonna get out though. The points I was trying to make here, like, you know, a minute and a half ago before everyone decided to try and kill each other, was... Actually, I don't even remember what the point I was trying to make. Never mind!
I'll bring up one of my own. The fact that the remover of undisclosed people or nouns in the bottom lane took Doran's blade as opposed to Relic Shield, and I'm not a fan. Jivix in the top lane getting ganked, flashing away, but unfortunately not going to be enough to save his life. Does end up dying to Tasty. Now in the bottom lane, Ziggy my dude coming in. We expect me missing with the stun, the flash coming out from Castizio. And now Remover running, no flash, no heal. He's going to get chunked down, but is the damage there? Q comes through, and he has enough shielding from Karma. And now Karma actually turning back, looking for some more damage, but not finding it. In the end, all summoner spells in bottom lane are going to be burned by both sides.
Okay. That was actually really well done by Tiny Panther there. Really well placed shield to make sure that the remover of nouns was able to get out and survive that. It was so close though. Ziggy my dude did not have his E up. That auto attack cancel would have secured the kill, but it was on a 7-second cooldown. It's pretty bad. Now I remembered what I was gonna say. We were talking about the Mr. Tasty up in the top lane with his Unsealed Spellbook. Now, the only thing I can see is that it does give Summoner Spell cooldown reduction, so allow him to TP sooner and more often. But I don't think that's worth taking over Aftershock, which will apply on basically 3 of his abilities, including his ultimate. Or Guardian, which would actually synergize very well with both his W and his ultimate.
Yeah.
Though, again, I don't profess to be a master level Galio player or master level anything player, so maybe he's cooking up some tasty plans that we do not have privy to us here in the casting.
Oh my god. Yeah, Tasty, come on. Tiny Panther with 2 control wards, definitely prioritizing vision. I mean, I guess the fact that you have vision is good, but spending 225 in the early game on control wards might not be the most beneficial thing that you're able to do. Actually, I'm going to go ahead and correct myself. Pardon my phone call. That is not the most productive thing that you should be doing.
Don't be productive. Or do be productive, I guess. In any case, yeah, I mean... Vision's important. Don't waste gold. It's a good way to go. Ults are happening.
Alright, the ultimate has come out from We Spect Me, and now the remover of nouns tossing out his ultimate in order to get some defensive positioning, and does get the disengage successful. And I am lagging.
I'm also lagging, but that's just the spectator being terrible. Rido, please. Did I just say Rido? I am a terrible person. I apologize. You know what we haven't seen in a while? This mid lane having any action. It's like they really went ham like the first minute and a half, and then they just kind of stopped. It seems like they just decided to warm up.
You see, Ken, here's your problem. You're expecting action out of a mid lane featuring Malzahar, and that's just not something that you're gonna get.
Oh, I apologize, of course.
Alright, I like that ward from We Spect Me, getting some vision onto Zephyr and actually pinging him to his own jungler. Knowing where the enemy jungler is one of the most important pieces of information any single given point in League of Legends. So good on him for getting that, getting a good ward.
Yeah, it's very, very important to do what you just said, that I was totally paying attention to, because I totally wasn't getting pinged from 7 servers again. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to redirect us back up towards the top side of the map here. I want to point out that Java here has about a 20 farm lead over his lane opponent, but that's only translated to about 100 gold because of the kill that has come out for Mr. Tasty. So that's not something you want as Jace. You do not want to be almost even in gold with the Galio.
Yeah, I definitely agree.
You need to snowball that lane. You need to snowball that lane hard, because if that Galio he's going to be more useful in team fights than you are. 100%.
Oh, the remover of nouns actually in a pretty bad spot. Does throw out his ultimate, but it does not seem like that was a very successful usage. Now Ziggy, my dude, in a very bad spot. 4 members on him. He's going to flash away, getting the Q off, but it's not going to be enough. iLuke takes him out, and now iLuke going for more. Actually, using his charm to cancel the suppression. The ultimate coming in from Tasty, and now Castillo running away, using heal. Does get taken out though. We Spec Me is going to be the next target, and now it seems that iLuke has fallen. We Spec Me dies as well, and now Tasty jumping in, trying to get engaged, but it's not going to be enough. That is going to be a 2 for 2. Neither team are going to be pulling ahead in that one.
Wow, that was a very, very important fight here. We can see the differences in communication styles by these two teams very clearly from this. We saw Java trying to mop up as much as he could, but this is exactly what we're talking about. A Jace will not have the impact in a team fight that a Galio will, and that right there showed it 100%. So really what it comes down to there was someone getting caught, and we're not going to dwell on that too much because bad positioning happens. It happens in the LCS. But what I really do want to focus on here is who exactly got the 2 kills in that fight. Java here, who is currently slugging away on Mr. Tasty, he got both of the kills that his team scored. Now, on the other side, the kills were spread out across the entire team. What this means is that Java does have a bit more gold to play around with. He's about 1,000 gold up on his opponent now, maybe a little bit less, about 900. So that gives him a little bit more to play around with. He has completed his Youmuu's, which will help him a little bit against the armor that Tasty is building up here. He's got Glacial Shroud and Warden's Mail already. But that does mean that with all the gold focused in the top lane, their bot lane is kind of left out to dry. And
oh, Ziggy engaging onto Tasty, and this is a 2v1 situation. Zephyr is here to help. Tasty flashing away, but the red buff takes him out, and now Jivix is coming in. iLuke coming in as well, using the ultimate, using the charm, and the charm connects onto Jivix, and he gets taken out. Now in 2v2 situation again. iLuke very low, forced on the back foot. Ziggy, my dude, looking for more engage. And now Zephyr, oh my goodness, Q Queenie getting the kill onto iLuke. And now Q Queenie chasing after Zephyr, but it looks like Zephyr is going to be escaping. Another 2 for 2 situation.
It was a good effort also by Castillo, throwing out the ult there just to see if he could help out. It did go slightly wide there, but I want to highlight that was a really well done flash by Q Queenie there to be able to lock down and keep that fight going in as easy of a fashion as they possibly could. In the end, though, it was a bit of a breakdown in communication because they weren't sure whether the Malefic Visions from Malzahar, I got the ability name, I forgot the champion, whether Malzahar's Malefic Visions was actually going to finish off iLuke or not, and that forced Q Queenie to chase after into the bush, which then allowed Ziggy, my dude, to be soloed down and killed by Zephyr. So a bit of a bad situation all around there. Honestly, I don't think it could have been avoided because you want to make sure you get that kill onto the mid laner. It's much more important. But it allowing the trade to come through does mean that the gold stays fairly even though it is about 1,000 in favor of Executioner's Calling, thanks to basically just the machinations of Java up into this top lane. And I guess Q Queenie's amazing farm lead, which is about 21 at this point.
Yes, sir. Right now, I'm just feeling like we're on a knife's edge right now. You got the Dragon up, you got the Rift Herald up, and is everybody? Yeah, everybody has their ultimates available. Most people having their flashes available. There are plenty of objectives.
For another couple seconds. Oh wait, no, he's available again.
Get out of here.
It's down again.
But anyways, all of the combat's ultimates are ready. Q Queenie, positioning aggressively, maybe looking for something to charm, landing from I Luke. Now Q Queenie, getting chased away by Zephyr. Ooh, I can feel it. The global objectives are alive. The combat ultimates are ready to be used. Ladies and gentlemen, we are going to have something breaking out soon.
Definitely, these teams are posturing very aggressively on both sides of the map. We see Zephyr, he's right now taking his wolves, but they've got a very nice line of wards upriver. It pretty much forced out Executioner's ward line from the river, which is very, very important for this kind of team comp. They want to be able to get in on these lanes, especially this bot lane, because right now this bot lane
Speaking of, Ziggy and Zephyr both in the bottom lane. The ultimate from Remover of Nouns going a little bit wide. And the Flash E coming in from Zephyr. The ultimate coming in from Tasty, and it does connect onto We Spec Me. The ultimate coming out as well. The taunts coming in. Do they have the damage to kill We Spec? We Spec very low. The ultimate, or the Zephyr, does get the kill. Now Tiny Panther does get taken out, but at what cost? I'll tell you, at the cost of the life of Q Queenie. And now Castizio in the bottom lane is forced to defend this tower as well as he can alone. And now underneath the tower is Tasty, and iLuke is coming in as well, flashing to dodge from Castizio. iLuke getting the kill, and now this is 3 men on 1 tower. But in the top lane, Jivix is trying to take away this tier 1 tower. So we're gonna have a bit of a tower race. Actually, no, we're not. Jivix is going to be taking this tower, and this Cloud Dragon is going over to 101 Terrible Thieves.
I'm going to have to disagree with this dragon. Not that I think that they're bad at decision making or that they've made a bad decision, but I do think in general it would be better to try and push into that tower, because that red tower just fell up in the top lane. So if they had committed the 4 down there and kept it,
Zephyr underneath the tower. Yikes. Go on.
If they had committed all 4 and pushed that wave up, they may have been able to contest that brick build, which is honestly much more worth it than the Cloud Drake is. I know I'm famous for my controversial dragon talk, but I think in this instance, the tower is definitely better.
Yeah, I would definitely agree. They had the opportunity to get the first tower, which is obviously going to have more value than getting any other tower, as well as getting the dragon, but by that poor decision right there, they ended up losing some of the potential gold that they had. Although they did still get the Cloud Dragon, it wasn't nearly as good of a cloud, or as rewarding of a Cloud Dragon as it could have been.
Yeah, now I want to reiterate that I wouldn't necessarily call it a bad decision, just not necessarily the most optimal decision. So no hurt feelings here. We're entirely inclusive here, but I do think
the flash coming in from Jivix. Oh, getting the dodge knocked out. Now the suppress getting canceled. Tasty getting his ultimate canceled. Now Q Queen does get the kill. The ultimate coming out from Zephyr. Now Jivix is onto him. Jivix getting the autos, but meanwhile in the bottom lane, Castizio gets flashed on, gets taken out. Now the remover of something is getting exhausted, getting stunned. Now We Spec forced to flash away, and now We Spec is running for his life. This Tiny Panther gets slow from the Q. There's no tower to save him now, so he gets rooted down, and he's just trying to save time. He gets the stun, he gets the heal, but it's not enough. He's so low. The Q comes out, but the Tiny Panther flash. What are you doing?
What are you doing, Tiny Panther? But no, that does end up being another 2-for-2 trade, but it was a...
spoke too soon. iLuke taking out Jivix as you call out the 2-for-2 trade, contesting the Rift Herald at 1800 health, and now Q Queenie very low. The ultimate coming out from Ziggy My Dude. Now the ultimate from Q Queenie. Oh, I love it! Forcing the Rift Herald to start attacking iLuke while he's suppressed. That's some creative gameplay, ladies and gentlemen. So the ultimate by Ziggy My Dude and by Q Queenie were burned, but in the end, Q Queenie and Ziggy My Dude escaped with not only their lives, but the Rift Herald to assist them in any future pushing.
Yeah, and that does end up being, again, a trade, but a 3-for-3 trade here. And that actually means quite a lot, considering that the mid laner for a...
teleport from Jivix. using Youmuu's underneath the tower. The remover so low, but the ultimate from downtown from Castillo gets the snipe and gets the kill. Jivix so low, but ends up escaping with his life. Tasty flashing forward, getting the knock down, but it's not going to be enough. Jivix escaping with his life. Now Tasty is in a bit of an awkward position, down both summoners and didn't actually gain anything from teleporting down there.
Yeah, really well played by WeSpec right there. He was able to get both a shield and a heal off. That saved his top laner's life. Very, very important there, because that was a very ballsy move.
Missing barely. Both top laners use their teleports. And Jivix did get a kill, which I guess you can give him some credit for, but he is going to be able to catch that massive minion wave that's building up. So in the end, I think Jivix made a very aggressive call by teleporting into bot lane and by going for that dive, and it did end up paying off for him. He got the summoners of the enemy top laner, and he didn't really have to lose anything other than his own teleport.
Yeah, it's pretty important that he's able to continue to scale up here because, like I said, as
Zephyr, taking the blue buff. Oh, we spec'd me! Getting the Rift Scuttler. Now Iluke getting a charm, no follow-up.
But yeah, like I was saying, it's very important that this Jayce continues to get kills and get gold, because if he wants to have any impact as this game goes forward, he needs to be as useful in side lanes as Tasty will be in team fights. Because he's certainly never going to be able to outperform a tank like Galio in a team fight situation, so he needs to be able to assassinate key targets in a side lane and continue to split push and be a threat that way.
Speaking of, Ijivix engaging onto Iluke getting the charm off onto him. Both of them at about 40%
That was amazing. No, it
yeah, that was.
It was amazing.
Cheating is not endorsed here at Learning Fives. Please do not script or use any third-party programs. Thank you for your time.
Not even Overwolf, because that'll get you banned too. Oh, thank you, Timber Slice. We've got someone who actually likes us in chat. What a change.
Yeah, that's not what we usually get. Anyways, Tasty looking for an engage underneath his own tower, but Castillo and WeSpec getting. Oh no, Tasty, what are you doing? Gets knocked. Oh man, this is unfortunate. Tasty ends up getting taken out by Castillo after WeSpec forces Tasty to WeSpec him by standing in front of him as he charges away.
Okay, no, we do have to give WeSpec to this Taric support. He's playing really, really well. Like, stepping in front of the Galio, making sure that E does not go off, and then earlier having that frame-perfect shield and heal to make sure that Jivix stayed alive on that ballsy dive. WeSpec definitely pulling off some major turns as this Taric here.
Yeah, the only problem that I did have with that kill onto Tasty was the use of exhaust was a little unnecessary. He was trapped, he didn't have anywhere to go to defend himself. He didn't really need to use exhaust. However, no point in crying over spilt milk, but I think in the future, WeSpec, if you're watching this, it's important to understand, well actually everybody, it's important to understand when you need to burn something like that to lock somebody down and when you don't. And that was definitely a situation where he didn't. Yeah, fighting over Mountain Dragon, the ultimate coming in from Tasty, and now Iluke forcing the flash out of Q Queenie. Now Q Queenie getting the ultimate does not get the kill though. Gets taken out. Oh my gosh, this is a bloodbath for blue team. Tasty using his stopwatch, that's what it's called, and now that's the 4-for-0 in favor of team 101 Terrible Thieves. Good night.
Yeah, Java doing the best that he can up in this top lane to make sure.
Oh, Baron.
Oh yeah, that could be that.
Come on, Java. Oh yeah, Java canceled his back, and he might be looking. He does have a ward available, so he's going to be able to put it in the Baron pit. Is he going for the Baron steal, ladies and gentlemen?
Definitely good.
He's not going for the steal. He's going for the disruption. He flashes in, but this is a 4v1 situation. The Baron has been stalled for a moment, but he does get taken out. Baron is going to be taken. That's not really what you want to be doing there.
Again, respect to the idea.
Oh! Yo, Castillo with the ultimate from downtown, getting a double kill onto the remover of Nouns and Tiny Panther.
remove his own noun from that Baron pit, let me tell you. Oh my goodness. Well played, Castizio. Almost pulling off the wild turtle there.
Oh man, quite the playmaker.
Yeah, that was very, very important there. I mean, we can say that it's all planned. We'll give it that. Java,
Yeah.
you made them low specifically because you knew Castizio was going to be up in time to throw that rocket in there. That it was all planned, all calculated.
Yeah.
Very good revenge kill there by Castizio. He's now 4-4. He's up in farm. He can do some serious things now. He's about even on items. The gold is actually about 400 or 500 in his favor, so that's actually pretty good. Not a big goal difference, even though he was significantly behind in lane, or so we thought. That's very, very important because Jinx is certainly going to be an integral part of this team going forward. Jinx scales up very well, and when those team fights break out, if you can get some crit rockets off, whoo!
Yeah. Definitely going to be something to keep an eye out. Castizio is going to be showing up very big in these fights with, how much is that? 80% crit chance already?
Yeah, with Rapid Fire Cannon, with the Runaan's Hurricane, and with the... I mean,
oh, the ultimate coming out from WeSpec, forcing or flashing forward, not actually landing the stun. The flash forward coming out from Castizio as well, and now the suppression onto Zephyr. He is locked up. Everybody throwing out their ultimates, and now Zephyr getting blown up. The remover of nouns has been taken out as well. The ultimate coming out from Castizio, but it's not enough to get a kill. And now this looks like a 5v3 situation in favor of Executioner's Calling. They have minions pouring into the mid lane. But they do not have access to the inhibitors yet. Sigma Dude engaging onto Tasty. This is a 4v1 stun landing. Now Tasty in a pretty bad situation. Silence, can't get out, and Jivix takes the kill.
Yeah, this is actually what I was trying to make a point about. I didn't really get time to articulate it. Is that earlier I was talking about how the kills all went on to Java when the first 2 or 3 kills happened. And the rest, and on the opposing team, the kills were spread out across the team. That's the risk here, is that when you have all of your gold put onto one person and they get blown up, you don't have any more damage. But since that point, the kills have started to spread out. They've reached some item spikes here, and all of the members are becoming threats. Q Queenie, very, very strong mid laner. I love watching this player play. They've got tons of damage, tons of AoE damage. Ziggy, my dude, building that damage, is building almost straight damage on this Vi, so you have to be aware of Ziggy diving in on the back lane. Java's basically going assassin at this point. He's got Duskblade, he's got Youmuu's, he's got Maul now as well, so he's going to be diving in. And then you've got Castizio, who's just going to sit back and shoot rockets at literally everyone with that Runaan's Hurricane, Eye-Edge, Rapid Fire Cannon build. So they've got 4 damage threats on this team that are all dealing enough damage to be a legitimate threat.
And speaking of,
not anyone that can answer that.
Speaking of Castizio, it's important to note that he also has a pretty notable shield right now, just because of the Relic Shield upgrade that he has, as well as Overheal, as well as Fleet Footwork. So anytime he auto-attacks, oh, and the Vampiric Scepter. So he has so much lifesteal, and whenever he does auto-attack, he almost has like a mini Bloodthirster in his items already completed, just because of the Overheal, which is an insane rune. And now Jevix forcing the flash out, forcing flash and heal out. The ultimate coming out from Ziggy my dude, the team fight breaking out. Tiny Panther getting blown up, but Zephyr returning the kill onto Ziggy my dude. The ultimate coming out from Tasty, but it's not going to be enough to either engage or defend anybody. And now this is just kind of a 4v4 situation. Neither of the teams are going to be as willing to pull the trigger after they lose their primary sources of engage. Well, not the primary source of engage for 101 Terrible Thieves.
Well,
but
the
an
thing
integral
to bear in
member.
mind here is that, yes, the jungler did die for Team Executioner's Calling, and normally this would be a problem. But there's not really any particular big objectives on the map. There's an Infernal Drake spawning in 15 seconds, but Ziggy's going to be up in 4. So he'll have enough time to get into position to contest this drag before that happens. So really,
Oh, thought remover. I mean, remover of something.
yes. Nothing.
It's,
Things now.
it's also important to note that Ziggy, even though he did die, I would say his death was worth it. He got the flash and heal out of the enemy ADC.
And the
So he's
ultimate.
getting duck. Yeah, he doesn't have anything to defend himself now. So as soon as somebody doesn't position in front of him, he's just gonna get taken out by anybody on the enemy team. Right now, we're on a knife's edge.
Yeah, right now we're on a knife's edge, and if I can get this pointed very quickly, I just want to point
Oh.
out. Nope.
Hold that thought. The engage coming from Tasty, getting a two-man taunt, and now the ultimate coming out from the remover, getting some damage onto We Spec Me. We Spec Me getting blown up, and now I Luke force uses his ultimate defensively. The flash coming out from Queenie, getting the double kill is Castizio. Now a triple kill, looking for more onto Zephyr, getting the fadeaway snipe. Oh, actually he missed that, which is a little awkward, but a triple kill for Castizio.
Tiny Panther jumping on that. That barrel made sure he could not get in range. Tiny Panther blocking it, so only a triple kill for Castizio, but that's what it comes down to. We Spec Me had enough health, had enough shields and armor to make sure it took long enough for him to go down, that Castizio could set up some damage, and then Ziggy My Dude and Jivix going in here, keeping the front line engaged, so that Castizio just has to right-click, and they just melt away.
Yes, sir. Okay, let's look at Castizio. I mentioned earlier how he had a mini Bloodthirster. Well, now he has
Now
a
he's got a
Bloodthirster
regular.
and a half. Because of Overheal and because of the passive with the actual Bloodthirster. I think it's a good item build, to be honest. So many shields that he has. Anyways, Baron Vision is starting to be a very important objective right now. We Spec Me. Oh, well, there you go. Wouldn't be a learning fast game without learning fast pause.
Learning fast pause. Like, I was wondering, it's like I saw Ziggy and Queenie talking in chat, and I'm like, wait, did the game end? Wait, hold on a second. But no, it's just a pause. There's some internet issues going on. And that gives me enough time to talk about what I wanted to talk about, which was that the remover of nouns here has actually gone for a complete on-hit build. He's got Guinzoos, he's got the Bot Rick, and he's got Runan's Hurricane now. Now the problem with that is that Jinx outranges him, and that Q Queenie, if the remover of nouns is in range to auto attack, Q Queenie's in range to ult him. And Ziggy's engage is longer range than his auto attacks too. So this on-hit build, he's basically put himself into a situation where he can't actually do anything if it comes down to two teams clashing into each other. I just threw something across the room accidentally. If these two teams come together, front lines meeting front lines, back lines behind them, he's not going to be able to get in range to do damage before he's blown up by Castizio and Ziggy My Dude. And that's a problem. So honestly, in this instance, I would almost advocate going to the old standby lethality build, going the Youmuu's Edge of Night into Duskblade route that we all saw last season when lethality was first introduced. It's kind of fallen off in popularity. It's not as good, but with basically not being able to get in range to auto attack, it basically comes down to him being a non-factor in most of these team fights unless the enemy team just completely ignores him. And Executioner's Calling aren't going to do that because they know where the damage sources are in this team. There's only two of them. There's iLuke on Ahri, and there's Noun Remover on this Varus, so they know exactly who to focus. It's not like they're going up against 4 damage dealers like they have on Executioner's Calling.
Yeah. And that's just an example of, I guess, I don't know if poor drafting is the right word, but I mean, I guess Varus into Jinx isn't necessarily, like, a good pick. Just because of the reason that you mentioned. He's not going to be able to be getting his auto attacks off. That being said, he does have really good self-peel, which is with his ultimate, which is good against a Jace who is pretty considerably fed, and a Vi, who are both going to be looking to get in as close and up close and personal as possible. But I don't know. I guess this Baron is spawning. The Vision is being contested all around the Baron. And everybody has, let's see. Well, I'm going to assume that everybody has their ultimates ready. Granted, I'm not completely sure because of the spectator system. But I think it's probably safe to say everybody has their ultimates available.
Now, I want to get back to this Varus point, because I was just going back over the pick and ban here. MF was out, Vayne was out, but Ezreal is still available, and Ezreal is very, very strong right now, and he provides everything that that Varus would provide in this situation. He has self-peel in his E, and Iceborne Gauntlet, which he would inevitably build. He's got great sieging, which Varus is also good at. He's got great pressure and great poke. And he's better in this meta because, like I said, he has a self-peel that actually feels and works better than Varus's does. And Kleptomaniac works very, very well on him. And the new runes really suit Ezreal well. So I'm actually very surprised, come to think of it, that Ezreal was not picked up instead of this Varus. Obviously, it's most likely because comfort picks trump meta picks, which I totally agree with.
Mm-hmm.
But all other things being equal, I do think that Ezreal would have been a better pickup for this team. But hindsight is 20/20, because going into this draft, if Noun Remover got ahead in this game and just completely rolled over Castillo, and Castillo was not able to come back from it, that siege would be completely fine, and there would be no point to having this conversation, because they would be accomplishing the same goal as an Ezreal would with this Varus pick. That's obviously a much more comfortable pick for the Noun Remover. So hindsight being 20/20, we can definitely say that Ezreal may have been a better choice in here. But with the way it is, it's not something that I can really say one way or another what I would have done in their situation at that time. But with the unpause happening fairly soon here.
Speaking of,
we've got an 8,000 gold lead for Team Executioners calling.
Yeah.
And they're posturing around this Baron with a very fed Castillo on this Jinx, with a Jace that can apply a crap ton of pressure and poke. And that pause was, we're not sure. I believe it was Red Team's pause.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah. I don't know why. Don't worry about why we said that. There totally isn't a voice in our ear telling us.
Oh, we spec me getting a stun onto the remover. He gets blown up by Javid. Oh my gosh, that's going to be the Baron. That could potentially be the game.
Yeah, that's very, very devastating here.
Baron
Zephyr
being
has
guarded.
a chance to go in here, but with Respect Me, he's looking to block it. Oh, and he
Baron
does
gets taken. Respect Me.
body slam.
Getting, oh my gosh, what an incredible play by him. Blocking the body slam, giving Zephyr no chance to retaliate and get the chance at a smite. However, 2 blue turrets are going to fall because of that Baron take. But it still is a Baron take. Oh, we spect me onto iLuke. iLuke using his ultimate defensively, but he does not have many places to go. Does get out. Oh, that was crafty. Dashes over the wall, dashes back over the Dragon Pit wall. It's clever. I support that.
Yeah, and I want to point out here that Tasty, while this Baron fight was going on, he knew he was not going to be able to support this fight. So he just kept pushing that bot lane, was able to pick up a tower there. So now the towers are equal, 5-5. And I want to point out again that 101 pretty good thieves. Yeah, not terrible thieves. That's the negative. Pretty good thieves. They can still come back from this very, 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 very easily should the game swing in their favor, and they get iLuke to pop off, because it's really up to iLuke to carry this game right now.
Yeah.
The Noun Remover will be able to assist as they push in and start sieging, but iLuke is the important one here. He needs to step up and start picking up some massive kills. Assassinating Castillo would be the way to go, I think. If they could get Castillo out of this fight before the fights really begin, then they can focus on to Q Queenie, pop in, and go on to Java from there.
You know, I kind of understand where you're coming at, but I also think that the roles... Oh, the ultimate coming out from Zephyr. Not actually going to connect to anything. Bit of lag coming through. Anyways, I think that the roles of Zephyr and the Tasty Tasty are going to be a bit more important. Oh, the charm landing onto Q Queenie. Now the ultimate coming in. This is a big engage coming through. Tasty coming in with the ultimate. We expect me also using his ultimate. The flash stun coming through. Castillo in a very bad spot. Forces self-heal, getting 3 members rooted up. Actually being able to escape. Java in the top lane, working down that inhibitor right now. And he's actually going to be able to take it before anybody comes to retaliate. Q Queenie being the only member dying there ends up being a very positive trade in favor of 100 Terrible Thieves. Wow.
And also for Executioner's Calling as well. So We Spect Me, he took a page out of iLuke's book there and craftily flashed back through the enemy team to the other side and got away from there, while Castillo distracted them, and then Castillo, of course, got that 3-month snare and was able to run away as well. Only Q Queenie dying there means that they still have 4 Baron buffs for an amount of time, not very much longer, a couple seconds, maybe 30 seconds, maybe less, but only losing 1 Baron buff, very important there, but even more important, the game doesn't get reset nearly as hard because that top inhibitor fell, and because they only lost their mid laner, they can keep up the pressure until...
No, Ziggy! Engaging onto Tiny Panther. Tiny Panther shields coming through from Tasty and his own stealth. Going to be enough to keep him alive. Ziggy, oh no! The blast plan kind of foiling his plan as he tries to keep going. But now Tasty is down an ultimate. This is very shaky grounds for Team Executioner's Calling.
By the way, Team Executioner's Calling is the blue team.
For Team 101 Terrible Thieves, I mean.
Anyway, I do want to point out here that the red team, Team 101 Thieves.
Terrible Thieves.
101 Sir Potato can't remember what team you're on. But I want to point out here that they've noticed that Castillo, his auto attack damage is ridiculous. So they're trying to make sure that they stay out of his auto attack range, but it's difficult. And now the Elder Drake's being taken.
Which is going to be so much tougher. The ultimate coming out from We Spect Me, maybe looking for an engage, but that's an ultimate wasted. Yeah, there wasn't enough of a follow through. You can actually see some Mia pings on the map. Questionable ultimate, not questionable. That was a bad ultimate.
Suboptimal. It's suboptimal. That's the word. That's the word of the day. Is suboptimal.
Yeah, suboptimal ultimate from We Spect Me.
No harm, no foul, because they can continue to push here.
Maybe no harm, no foul. We're not sure yet. The ultimate does come through from Remover. Now Zephyr with the big ultimate does allow his team to get some more damage. Now Tasty getting some damage. The big body slam. Zephyr taking out Ziggy, my dude. And now Java falls as well. Castillo is the next on the list. We Spect Me. Solo gets rooted up. That's a triple kill for the Remover. Looking for more. Gets the quadra kill. And that's going to be ace in favor of Team 101 Terrible Thieves.
101 times Potato forgot what team you were.
Oh man, that's really helpful for them because now they don't have to worry about Executioner's Calling breathing down their necks, threatening to take their Nexus turrets at any time. Now they're able to actually push themselves, and it looks like they're probably going to be able to get this tier 2 tower in the mid lane, as well as looking to get an inhibitor tower? I don't think that's going to happen. Ziggy, my dude, is up in 7 seconds. We'll see.
Ziggy, my dude, may be able to defend this. He definitely should be
able
to take down Tiny Panther.
The tower is going to fall, but the inhibitor will more than likely remain safe. Tiny Panther and Remover of
things.
Rude females is going to be walking away.
Yeah, that was an amazing turnaround there by Team 101 Ways to Forget Your Name. That was they knew exactly how to play that team fight to make sure it got ahead. It was a little bit over aggressive by Team Executioner's Calling, and they played off that perfectly. And like I said, they focused down Castillo, and then they just started popping people.
Yeah.
So technically, Castillo was the third person to fall. They got him to the point where he could not burst them down. And I want to point out, there's a Bramble Vest on Zephyr, and a Thornmail completed for Tasty, as well as that Frozen Heart. So they're definitely specking into the correct things here. Zanya's been picked up by iLuke. Obviously, that's pretty much core.
Baron being started. They have vision. Steal attempt, not going to be successful. Now the suppression landing onto Zephyr. Zephyr getting blown up, and now, Tasty Tampon in the middle of the Executioner calling, biting up a little more than he can chew, forcing the flash away, but Casizio does get the snipe on him, gets him killed, and now this is going to be a 5v3 situation with the two tankiest members of Team 100 Terrible Thieves dead, leaving iLuke, Remover, and Tiny Panther left alone to defend their base. Now Java looking onto iLuke, blowing him up. But now Tiny Panther with a root going to be taking him out with the assistance of Airy.
Airy. Go get him, Airy! But, yeah, that was really well done by Java there. And I also want to point out the Baron call there. I'm not particularly sure who the shot
Casizio getting blown, or not Casizio. Casizio doing the blowing up of Remover, and now the suppression landing onto Tiny Panther, and that is going to be the ace for Team Executioners calling. Zephyr trying his best, but it's not going to be enough. The Nexus falls, and Team Executioners calling take game 1.
41-minute game, though. That was a marathon by Learning 5 standards. Just really well played by both teams here. That turnaround that 101 Pretty Okay Thieves had there to push in was well done, but what Executioners calling was able to do was realize, okay, they're trying to reset the map and try and slowly push in. Let's force a Baron. They won't expect us to immediately go over to it. We've got Castillo to blow through it with the minigun, which they did. They blew through Baron, and then Cute Queenie with another immaculate ultimate, locking up Zephyr as he comes in to try and get that last-minute Baron steal. Does a really good job of taking him out of the fight, and then it just progresses from there. People dying one after another, and it just snowballs into the victory. So really well done by Executioners calling, but really well played by both teams.
Absolutely. And so we are going to see for game 2 whether 101 Terrible Thieves are going to be able to pick themselves up by their bootstraps and recuperate and point out some of the mistakes that they made and come back stronger than they were for game 1 and potentially look to take it. So in the meantime, I'm Sir Potato the Ninth, joined by Can Opener Dude, and we will be right back.
love you. I hate you. I love you.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the second match between Team 101 Terrible Thieves and Team Executioners Calling. I am Sir Potato the Ninth, joined by Can Opener Dude, and we are getting right back into picks and bans.
I'm so proud of you. You even got them in the right order this time.
Yeah, I'm learning.
We're learning. In any case, we're going to see
Ivern and Syndra Band.
Those are not the bands that were in Pro Draft.
We'll just go with it.
I'm going to strangle someone. Anyway, so, if you want to know what the actual band picks and bans are, they were for 101 terrible banners: Jace Shen, Varus, Morgana, and Jarvan the Fourth. Those were the bans. Wait, no, those were the picks. Never mind.
Yeah, we're good.
Spoilers. No, the bans were Jinx, Malzahar, Misfortune, Tristana, and Twitch. They basically banned out all the ADCs and Malzahar because, why not?
Which kind of makes sense.
Yeah, they want to keep Castillo. That's what he wanted. I'm scrolling up to make sure that I got the name right. Castillo. You want to make sure Castillo cannot play the League of Legends, but he's going to play League of Legends anyway because he got Xayah.
Whoa! Spoiler alert. Anyways, you can definitely see like how reactive of a team composition and how reactive the bans from Team 101 Terrible Thieves are. They're taking away the Jace. That was actually their first pick. You take that away from Java, and they ban away every ADC imaginable. And they're putting Shen on their team, so they have so much utility that they're going to be able to put on Noun Remover that they're trying to make Castillo pretty useless, actually, is the big thing that you can take away from this.
Yeah, and they're probably not going to succeed because Xayah is one of the most flexible ADCs in the game.
Yeah.
Both in mechanics and in character, capital try. And
wowzers.
That being said, in my Christian learning fight, no.
Man.
That being said, I do like the adaptation here, banning out the Ahri as well, because that was the one person on Team 101 Themes that seemed to actually know what they're how to build damage. But that's okay. Not flaming. Just saying that was the only person in that game that did in fact build damage. The Varus building the on hit was not what I would call damage in that particular instance, but not bad. Just suboptimal. No mistakes. Just happy little accidents. So now that we see the teams, here lined up on our screens. We got the Jace is actually going to be going in the mid lane, so this is going to be interesting to see, especially going up against Q Queenie on the Xerath. Xerath going to be playing very, very safe, very, very back. It's going to be interesting to see if Luke is going to be able to land any sort of damage onto the Xerath, because if Q Queenie is playing up to the snuff that we've seen so far from this player, they shouldn't be getting caught by basically anything Luke can throw out. Very aggressive junglers.
Absolutely. Shyvana and Jarvan 4, very dominant junglers who have very strong ganking potential. I'd say pre and post level 6.
At least on the Jarvan side, Shyvana's pre-6 ganks are somewhat lackluster. She basically just runs at them and presses buttons. Which is more or less everyone, but words. What I was going to say there was that I do think Jarvan's ganks are going to be particularly good, but Shyvana's particular strength, I swear I can say words, I swear I can, is going to be responding to those ganks either with counter ganks or by invading Jarvan's jungle and taking away the camps while he's on the opposite side of the map. So assuming Ziggy my dude plays up to the snuff we've seen so far, that's pretty much what he's going to be playing this early game like. He sees Jarvan somewhere, he goes into the jungle and takes some camps, or he counter ganks if he's close enough. That's really what it's going to come down to with the Shyvana. You want to force the enemy jungler out of you want to force the game out of your weakest spot, which for Shyvana is going to be those first couple levels. So they want to get as ahead as they can in levels and in gold, and the quickest way for Shyvana to do that is counter jungling. But that being said, I don't think there's a whole lot more we can really say other than, ooh, it's going to be cool to see these people go up against each other on these teams. So we're just going to say that it's going to be cool to see these teams go up against each other. And we're going to count down this spectator delay with some cool tunes, and we'll be back eventually.
Turn it on.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the second game of the Learning 5 show match tonight. I am Sir Potato the Ninth, joined by Can Opener Dude, and we are here with Team 101 Terrible Thieves versus Team Executioners Calling. And I am currently loading into the game, but Can will give you a quick rundown of things to come.
Yes, I will give you a rundown of things to come. Lines of scrimmage. That is what is coming right now. And we already know who these players are. They are the Mr. Tasty, Zephyr, Raven Swore, Luke, Noun Remover, and Tiny Panther versus Jivix, also known as Java, Ziggy my dude, Q Queenie, Castillo. We remembered it this time. And We Spect Me on the red team.
All right.
In that order. He's in the game. We're good. We're good.
I am loaded in. Oh, Zephyr getting stunned up already. The Q does land. A little bit of a.
No, he was in there.
It is some. I'm not sure what the word is. He's a magic man. That must be it.
They'll have to respect the fact that he can see into those bushes there. I'm done. I got one. But we're good.
Oh man, what a meme.
He obviously got one of those PUBG ESP hacks, and that's how he knew he was in the bush there. Learning Quest does not in any way approve of hacks, but no.
No, that's been stated.
Yeah, that's been stated. I'm going to just assume that he either saw him walk into the bush, or he just assumed, hey, someone's probably going to be your lines of scrimmage.
Well, wait. What is the Noun Remover doing? He just made Tiny Panther go and leash Zephyr on his own. Mound Remover that's a little weird.
Yeah, it's not
sure
going
what
to
to think of
really
that.
net him all that much, though. I don't think Me and Castillo realized that Tiny Panther wasn't there. I think if they did, they certainly would have gone in a bit harder on him.
Mhm.
But that did not happen. Now we see Java up here against Mr. Tasty.
Yikes! He's getting some damage down. Big Tree laying down the law. Tasty so low, getting some damage in return, but that is some nice damage. Both of them are so low. Man, the insane aggression. That's what I like to see.
Yeah, like I said, Java is known for being a lane bully. And he wants to engage these fights, but I'm not sure whether Maokai is the right champion to be engaging these fights on, but he's making it work, so props to him.
Yeah.
In the jungle matchup we see here, that it's basically mirrored paths here. Right now,
Oh. Yo, the flash flag is back from Zephyr. The flash in return from Ziggy. But it doesn't matter. Zephyr getting first blood onto Ziggy, my dude.
that was really well done by Zephyr there, getting that flash flag and drag.
Oh, we spect me. Positioning a little too far forward, but the root coming out from Casdio. That was nice.
That was good.
Yeah. I think we spect me really overpositioned there, going for the stun onto Noun Remover. The Q does land from Tiny Panther, and forcing the flash out of Casio all sums down in the bottom lane, and now Noun Remover in a very bad spot in the middle of the enemy team's minion wave. Casio and Noun Remover duking it out, trying not to take as much damage as possible. But in the end, Casdio and We Spect Me are going to be winning this trade and going to be getting a big lane advantage because both of them have Relic Shield, and they're going to get so much healing from just killing minions that Noun Remover and Tiny Panther are going to have a tough time keeping up from now on.
Yeah, that is a bit of a problem there. Also, Noun Remover is out of mana. Tiny Panther, they're fine. They got mana for days. But the lack of mana on Noun Remover here is going to make his poking job a little bit harder. So he's going to have to rely on his auto attacks that much more. Q Queenie doing a good job in the mid lane doing the pokes. And actually, Ilu doing a fair job of it as well. So, nothing too much going down there. But Ilu does have a farm advantage.
Yeah, pretty significant farm advantage too. 12 minions, that's not really anything to scoff at. Ooh, good Q from Tiny Panther.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh. Ziggy, my dude, coming into the bottom lane, looking to press some buttons and run at them. Casdio getting killed, forcing flash out of Tiny Panther. Well, actually, that wasn't a forced flash.
That was just a flash.
Yeah, that wasn't a great flash.
It was a suboptimal
flash.
We got it. Welcome to learning suboptimally. No, that's not right. You're learning optimally.
Yeah. See, this is a moment where after the show match ends, that Team 101 Terrible Thieves are going to be able to look back at that moment, and that's going to be something they're going to be able to improve on. When you should and when you shouldn't burn summoner spells. And that's an example of a moment when you shouldn't burn a summoner spell.
Yeah, one thing you should burn your sub on is the Learning Fives Twitch channel. If you have Amazon Prime, you can use your Twitch Prime subscription in order to get a free sub.
Holy moly.
I'm sorry, I couldn't resist. I've been watching streamers all week talking about Twitch Prime, so I had to get it in there.
That's beautiful.
Now, that was, I do want to point out here that all summoners are now down in the bot lane for at least another minute or so. So, gonna be a little bit of a tense situation there until those sums start coming back up. What's gonna happen? Who's gonna gank where? But I do want to point out that Ziggy, my dude, did get a
the root from Tiny Panther. Now Noun Remover and Tiny Panther engaging. Casio so low, but Noun Remover does get the kill. Tiny Panther using his black shield in order to absorb the stun from Tarek. Well played.
Yeah, and a little bit of disrespect there. Oh, Noxian Dream, thank you for subscription. Good job. But no,
wait, really?
No, I don't know if he just subscribed or if he had already subscribed. We don't have sub notifications on here for some reason, but
It worked.
It worked. But no, it was a very, very good snare there to last 3 years by Tiny Panther. But Castillo just playing a little bit too far forward there with his support not there to back him up. A little bit far forward, suboptimally forward, I would say. So,
it is the optimal position.
Yeah, a little bit more respect, Kaz, I think, in the future. Hey, Learning Fives! Also subbed, but I guess they're the broadcasters, so they're already subscribed. Good job, Learning Fives!
Goodness. Yeah. Oh man, I'm really excited to see some of these team fights starting to break out, especially from Team Executioners Calling. The amount of engage potential that they have, and amount of opportunities they have to further their engage with the Shyvana, with the Maokai, and with the Taric. If they hit one form of CC on somebody, they have like 12 other forms that they're able to throw on them and just keep that CC train going until the other enemy team isn't able to do anything.
Yeah, like I remember when the Maokai rework was first showcased, I'm like, oh, it's a crappier Namiel. But it honestly, it works pretty well.
Oh, no, Tiny Panther in a very bad spot. Getting blown up. The ultimate does come out from We Expect Me, forcing Noun Remover to position a little more defensively. And Tiny Panther does get taken out by Castillo.
Yeah, the one thing to note there is that the reason they were not able to follow up and go on to Noun Remover there is that Castillo was actually snared off of the tendrils of corruption that originally had We Respect Me and then spread to him very corruptingly onto Castillo at the end there. So that was the reason that Castillo was not able to join We Respect Me and going forward. Java has a pretty good chance of catching up.
The ultimate coming out. The Force Flash. Oh my goodness, it doesn't matter. He follows him with his W. Java getting a kill on to Tasty. Well played, I must say.
Yeah, and that's one thing to point out here is that it's not a worse Namiel. It moves in a very unique way that's actually different than basically any other skill shot in the game, and it does actually start to pick up speed as it goes along its route. So a good pressuring tool and a good use there by Java to pick up that kill. Luke is currently standing still while the Infernal Train falls.
We're gonna get no, I don't think we're gonna get a pause. Either way, something I'm a little displeased, I believe the word is Q Queenie. His choice of rune, ooh, that's really big. Mana Flow Ban being burned by Luke. And now the flag drag into Cataclysm, forced onto We Spect Me to teleport coming in from Java, and now Zephyr he's in a pretty bad spot, but he's able to escape. Anyways, as I was saying, Q Queenie.
Uh-oh.
Oh no, Tiny Panther going to be the next target, and flashing away. Again, that's a suboptimal flash. Not exactly the time that I want to see a flash being used by Tiny Panther. Anyways, like I was trying to say before I was so rudely interrupted, Q Queenie, he took Summon Airy, but I just can't see how that's gonna be better than Meteor. And Q Queenie on Xerath does have two forms of CC with the slow and the stun, as well as just the long range skill shots he has. I just think that Meteor would be better just because it does more damage. I don't know. I think the flash and the ulti coming out from Casio. Now in a bad spot. The ulti coming out from Tasty. Casio in a bad spot. No summoners available. Ends up getting taken out by Zephyr. And now you have 4 members of Team 101 Terrible Thieves pushing in with a minion wave. Maybe looking to take a tower. We'll see if We Spect Me can get anything done. But I don't think so. He gets a stun onto Zephyr, but now Tiny Panther lands a Q on tanking tower. We Spect Me using his ultimate defensively. Tasty underneath tower, taking a bit of damage. But remover of inappropriate nouns is underneath tower. Gets stunned up and has to burn heal, otherwise he would have gotten killed. Meanwhile, in the top lane, Java doing what Java does best, playing aggressively, uses his ultimate, and almost gets a didn't almost get a kill. But either way, 101 Terrible Thieves. That was a little disjointed with your efforts there.
I like his name because it tells us what he does.
It tells us what he demands.
He demands the respect. And it really was well played there. Like, most people would just say, just let the turret fall, but not respect me. He knew what he could do. But I do want to point out there, Castillo, that it's I completely lost my train of thought. No, it was a bit much. The engage there with the ultimate and the flash. It was a bit too far forward. I would call it suboptimal, but I really don't think the flash was necessary. I think for the engage.
You Queenie, getting the damage on Iluk, burning his nullifying orb. Oh no, what are you doing, Zephyr? Getting an engage off, but at what cost? It looks like Casdio very low. The ultimate coming out from Tiny Panther. The Q landing onto Ziggy, my dude. Now, remover of inappropriate nouns. Flashing forward, trying to get a kill. Casdio with the ultimate onto Iluk. Iluk getting the kill and doesn't actually get killed in return. Very low, though. And now it seems like We Spec Me is going to be the next target of 101 Terrible Thieves. Bottom lane, the remover of explicit nouns, getting a nice Q onto him. And now We Spec Me, very low, looking for the stun. Doesn't get it. And now, Pew Queenie getting more. The black shield does come out, and now the ultimate coming out from Q Queenie. Remover of explicit nouns getting taken out by Q Queenie's barrage of magical mystical orbs.
Orbs.
Goodness. So what is that? A 1-for-0? No, a 2-for-0 in favor of Executioner's Calling.
No, they did get Castillo in there, so 2 for 1.
Oh, did they? 2 for 1. Okay.
Yeah, and it was very close to being a 3.
Oh, no, it works. I'm happy with that. Tiny Panther executing as he was being tailed by 3 members. Tasty Tampon, are you okay there, buddy? You have your passive shield, getting a taunt off. Java looking for more, getting the root. Actually, maybe looking to get the kill. Flash forward from Tasty Tampon. I mean, Tasty something. I don't know what that is. Flash from Java.
I don't know what that is, but it was pretty tasty, that Maokai. Man.
Java. Gobbling him up and getting the kill.
Yeah, that tree is hungry. And he like, I have to take it back now. I can't believe I'm going to have to say this, but this Maokai is really bullying out this Shen. I don't think I ever was going to be able to say that.
Oh no, We Spec Me! What are you doing, pal? Run directly into Iluk. Yeah, dude.
Oh god, I'm stopping now. I'm getting dry heaves now.
Overused and abused.
Oh boy. Just like my Friday nights. Anyway, I want to point out here that there's was that Relic Shield there before?
On who?
Castillo?
Yeah.
Okay, because it just popped up in his inventory, and I'm like, wait, hold on a second.
Yeah,
But-
he's had that, which, honestly, remover of explicit nouns in reference to females. Come on, you gotta build Relic Shield. Flashing is Tiny Panther and Q
Good
Queenie.
flash, Queenie. Good flash.
And again, Tiny Panther. I don't like that flash. I'm not a fan of flashing for a Q.
Did Tiny Panther flash? I didn't even see that one.
Yeah,
Oh,
he
man.
flashed Q'd, missed the Q. I'm not happy with that.
I thought you were saying Q Queenie. I'm not a fan of that flash. And I'm like, dude, it was a cataclysm.
Yeah,
and
no,
Rift-
Q
and-
Queenie didn't have the
and
option.
The Rift Herald there, that's very important.
Oh,
Castillo.
Iluk flashing onto Casdio. Iluk maybe biting off more than he can chew, getting rooted down, and getting stunned up, getting taken out by Casdio. And now, meanwhile, in top lane, you got
And
Java
MIA.
and Ziggy, my dude, coming. And now the Rift Herald being summoned. Tasty in a pretty bad situation. You don't
want him to splat on that tower, though. Oh, that's unfortunate.
I think Ziggy and Java could have pushed for more there. They have the Rift Herald. Nobody else is on top side. No. Actually, Zephyr and his team are at bottom lane positioning around the dragon. I think it's smart to leave that alone.
Yeah,
But actually going to mid lane is Executioner's Calling.
yeah, I do think you want to at least try and get that tower down before Rift Arrow splats on it, because it loses health when it splats a tower. So if you can avoid that, it's very nice. I
Yeah.
don't know what you're ho-hoing about because my game lagged out. What are we ho-hoing about?
Tiny Panther nailed a Q. I'm impressed.
Oh, wow!
Good Q,
I'm
bad
sorry.
flashes.
I'm sorry, it was an optimal Q. Very well done. Good job.
Alright, well, Cloud Dragon is being started up, but Zephyr and iLuke may be looking to contest. Terrible time to lag. Red team has slain the dragon, and now the ultimate has come out from WeSpect, forcing the WeSpect out of the other team. Tiny Panther very low, doesn't have Black Shield available, and Q Queenie, oh my god, so close to taking him out, but the ultimate being out from Tasty, and Tiny Panther does live, but he gets taken out by WeSpect, and now it looks like everybody's laying down the damage, trying to get some damage in. WeSpect gets taken out, now Tasty is dashing away, and now running into Castillo and Q Queenie. And now they are blowing him up. Flash toward his Castillo, and it's so low. Tasty barely getting out alive. And now Q Queenie and Castillo may be looking for remover of nouns that are inappropriate, but not actually going to be.
The inappropriate nouns that are inappropriate and not allowed on good Christian streams.
And that is going to be a good fight in favor of Team Executioner's Calling.
Yeah. It was a good time. You know, I think the Casio has to build Executioner's Calling. I mean, last game we did build Giant Slayer. The Giant Slayer Last Whisper item, whose name is escaping me at the moment. I believe it's Lord Dominic's. No, yes, Lord Dominic's regards. This game, I would like to see him build Mortal Reminder, not because anyone on their team has healing, because no one on their team does have healing, but I would like to see it just for the, the name synergy.
Yeah, but that would be a pretty bad item to buy, not gonna lie. There's no reason to buy Executioner's Calling for him. Although, at this point, he is, 2,000 gold ahead of remover of female explicitives. So I think he has the option, so he does have the option to just kind of start building whatever he wants, considering he has such an incredible lead on, you know the one.
Yeah, on that one, But I do.
Oh
think
no,
Lord Dominic
Java in a bad situation, dashing directly into a tangled root. Now it's Tasty.
the Dyrus wall.
Oh, the flash!
So
Not
sad.
like this. Tasty gonna get taken out by Java.
Yeah, the tasty female.
Oh, but the turn
promise.
maybe coming in from Zephyr, forcing flash out of Ziggy Madu. Now Java on the back line onto iLuke. iLuke laying down the law onto Java. But meanwhile, Ziggy, my dude, trying his best, trying to get to that blast cone, but he just can't. Tiny Panther does get taken out, or does get the kill. And now Q Queenie, so close. Forced him does end up living.
Yep.
He should have.
takes the tower. And it ends
Zephyr.
up
Zephyr, taking a fight with somebody who is 4 levels higher than he is. Q Queenie, tossing down his ultimate. Connects 2 shots before Zephyr gets out. Now Q Queenie, just gonna back.
Yep. And I do want to point out there that he who doth remove the women of ill repute from the area did in fact get a kill onto Ziggy, my dude there. And it is very important that the remover of irreputableness does get some kills here, because he's gonna want to build those.
God damn.
He does want to build those on-hit items this game. Zaya's attack range is comparable to his. So if he wants to make Zaya one of these women of ill recruits that he's going to remove from the immediate area, then an on-hit build would work very well for this.
Yeah, I agree. Oh no, Zephyr looking to engage on Q Queenie, barely missing his E, not getting the stun, but Zephyr forced to flash out because he is running low. Now the unstoppable dragon coming out, ultimate onto Zephyr from Tasty. Ziggy in a pretty bad spot, but getting blown up is Q Queenie. Ziggy also going to be falling. That is a kill to Zephyr and iLuke. Wow, that's actually really bad for Team Executioner's Calling. Is now
And
there
the
is a pretty
remover
large
himself
move
was
wave.
removed as well.
Oh no, the stun onto Tasty, and now the flag and drag not connecting onto, excuse me, Jivix. Nothing else gonna come of that.
We're just losing everything here. It's late. It's almost 11 o'clock. Oh boy. Oh boy. In any case, the remover of women of ill repute has returned to the fields of justice, and so has everyone else. So the game's gonna pretty much reset here. We do see a dragon coming up in about 1:10. It's gonna be an Ocean Drake. Take me by the rake. Sorry, I kind of went too far there. Went a little too ham. But the Ocean Drake will be the next on the table, and that will mean that there will be no Mountain Drakes in this game, because you can only have 3 types of Drakes in the game. If you have all 4, they all get jealous of each other, and it just doesn't work out very
You know how dragons are.
Yeah, they're pretty jealous. Anyway, you know who else is jealous is Team Executioner's Calling of the fact that this mid tower is still up. They want to get rid of that. They're pretty jealous that that's up and that they want theirs to be the only middle tower to be up. So they're going to push as 5 towards this tower here. That's a pretty good move in this situation.
The ultimate coming out from the Wench Disposer, and it's going to be starting off this team fight. Q Queenie using his ultimate, and now the Feather Fly coming out from Kazdio. The kill landing onto Ziggy, my dude, and now the double kill for Q Queenie. Java going in even deeper. Luke in a pretty defensive position. Tasty in a okay position. The Roots does land onto We Spect Me. Now both teams have reset the neutral in Super Smash Bros. Terms. A minion wave is coming in onto this inhibitor turret, with Kazdio and We Spect Me actually leaving? Oh, running right back. Java does have Demolish, gonna do a fair bit of chunking to this tower. Java looking to engage, gets the Roots onto iLuke, is suddenly alone as all of his teammates are working on this tower. The tower falls, the inhibitor is going to be the next target, however, it is not accomplishable right now, as Team Executioner's Calling are falling back, potentially looking to an Ocean Dragon, only time will tell.
Yeah. They do want to back off here because the banisher of those women deemed not fit for consumption has returned, and he is leading the charge down the mid lane.
For consumption?
Consumption as in, you know, consumption of good conversations.
Yeah, okay.
Yes.
Oh wait, Baron's actually being teased right now. Maybe not being actually, yeah, it looks like this is a really alpha Baron's take right now. 4 members of Team 101 Terrible Thieves are starting up the Baron, and they're running away from the Baron. And they're actually in a pretty bad spot right now. We Spect Me.
Baron himself was the one that said, "Be gone, women of ill repute, be gone." But, and so away they did be.
Leave here, you sully wenches.
Be gone, wenches. Okay. Let's talk about some meta. There's nothing to talk about in this game. Let's be honest. There's nothing going on right now. There was a Baron that happened, but now it's not happening.
This is a bit of a clown fiesta. It does seem like Executioner's Calling are in the driver's seat right now, as they do have a 7,000 gold lead over Team 101 Terrible Thieves. But honestly, if one team fight goes awry in favor of Team 101 Thieves, they're actually going to have a pretty good opportunity to take control of this game if they're able to take Baron and take any towers.
Yeah, that's very, very important here is that as he may remove women from the area when they are not correctly cleaned and prepared, he does also have a lot of siege on this Varus. And they also have iLuke, whose name we cannot effectively meme. He's got some good siege on him too, and of course Zephyr, Ravenswar, Tiny Panther, and Tasty feminine hygiene products can certainly help with the sieging as well. So if they manage to get a Baron and get a team wipe, or even a 3 or 4 man wipe, they can certainly do good things here.
You know, I really want to know if Team 101 Terrible Thieves, if their mid laner, whenever he shows up to a team fight, if he just introduces or yells out, "It is I, Luke, coming in to assist in the team fights."
Well, maybe he has to go to Tashi Station to get some power converters. I don't know.
That might be it.
Yeah. But that being said, I think that Jace would benefit from power converters, but right now he is going to walk around in the jungle.
Me. Oh, what are you doing, Tiny Panther? Cue him! Throw your Q. Okay, you threw your Q, but...
Cue him!
Not enough
Cue
of
him,
a follow-up.
We
spect me, not actually we specting the enemy. And walking directly into Tiny Panther and Zephyr. However, Zephyr and Tiny Panther not actually doing anything about it and letting him walk all over. I don't like that kind of play. Come on. Baron is being started up by Executioner's Calling. However, 101 Terrible Thieves do know and have vision of the Baron. And Tasty Feminine Hygiene products in the bottom lane does have ultimate available if a team fight does in fact break out.
And if the team fight doesn't happen, he can use it too, you know? Either way.
That is how that works. The Baron is not actually going to be started, and it does seem like the vision control is in favor. Zephyr in a bad spot for Spike drag out. Java looking really badly for an engage. You know he's wanting to flash W on somebody, root them in place, and allow his teammates to stack on the damage. Let's see. Right now, both teams looking for an opportunity to engage on one of their opponents misstepping and being a little too far forward.
Well, one thing to bear in mind here is that the tasty things that you should not put in your mouth, whether they are used or unused, is he's doing a lot of split pushing, which is exactly what he wants to be doing in this situation. Put pressure on another lane, force the team to split, because you're not in the lead right now if your team 101 terrible Aladdin movies or whatever they are. So you want to force the team apart so you can try and pick them off one by one. And that's exactly what Shen excels at, is being able to respond to a team fight with his ultimate, but it's he can just go and split push sometimes. He's got the Hydra item. Tiamat is what it is called. That is the item. He's probably going to be building that into a Titanic Hydra. He could go Ravenous Hydra if he really wanted to. Murder Bush is in the Pixel Bush, but is spotted out by the wall hacks.
Ziggy, my dude, in a pretty bad spot. The ultimate is being used by the removed stolen wenches, and the ultimate does go through, but it's not enough. Ziggy, my dude, does get taken out, and this is a 5v4 situation in favor of Team 101 Terrible Thieves.
With the jungler down, that's the important part here. If 100 with the 40 Thieves led by Aladdin's father wants to then switch on to Baron now, they have a perfect opportunity to do so because the smite is no longer a 50-50.
Yeah, but it doesn't seem like they're going for Baron. Instead, they have Tasty Feminine Hygiene products in the bottom lane pushing for that tier 2 tower, as while they're pushing for the mid lane tier 2 tower. So right now, what they do doesn't actually matter, as long as they're distracting the opponent team and keeping them in mid lane and allowing Tasty Feminine Hygiene products to split push. But right now, they're sending Kazdio alone onto
which
Tasty.
Is actually doing a whole crap load of damage.
Yeah, he's doing a lot of damage. The ultimate flash coming through, but the root does not land. Tasty going to be able to escape successfully. Now, the root does land onto Java, but it does not matter. The ultimate comes out. The ultimate's coming out from everybody. We spec me getting the vulnerability. Zephyr getting taken out. Kazdio is on a rampage. Now Kazdio himself getting taken out. Java getting into the middle of the fight. He's huge. He has so much health. And now remover of Stolen Wenches trying to get some damage out, but he does not have the damage. Tasty Feminine Hygiene product so low, has a shield, gets taken out as well, and that is going to be the ace in favor of Team Executioner's Calling. Oh, what is that blast cone usage?
Oh, and of course it ends up being that the remover of the irreputable wenches that ends up being removed along with all of his irreputable wenches, or thieves, or the wenchy thieves, EV wenches. They're going to pick up the dragon, and now they're going to switch on to Baron, and while Zephyr Raven Swore is up, he's by himself, and he probably won't be able to even get to Baron by the time it's taken.
Let's see. There's not a whole lot of DPS. Ziggy, my dude, does have a good amount of DPS. The Baron is almost at half health. Zephyr is going to have the opportunity. Has smite available, so does Ziggy. Java is running forward, chasing him away. Baron, pretty low. Let's see if he can do anything. It doesn't look like
they do not have a lot of DPS here, but here comes Kazdio just to make sure it's secured. Java doing a good job of being a very brutal tree. That's like the Whomping Willow at this point. That's basically who he is, let's be honest here.
It's a Whomping Willow, yeah.
Yep, the tree from Harry Potter, for any of you who are illiterate. Like, Wenches of Recruit that would be removed from the ADC by
Wow.
101 Thieves.
Or, God. Anyways. So, Baron has been successfully taken by Team Executioner's Calling. They have almost 10,000 gold over their opponents. This is honestly where they just need to go even in the team fight, and they win the game. The only win condition right now for Team 101 Terrible Thieves is if Executioner's Calling just throws every team fight they have from the rest of the game. If they just throw it irrefutably and there's nothing else. But that's the only way that 101 Thieves have a chance of winning this game. Otherwise, this game is going to be taken by Executioner's Calling. Unless they mess up horribly wrong.
Yeah, and the Executioner is calling for Team 101 Terrible Thieves here. So they're going to have to do their best to see if they can just stay into this game. They need to play perfectly. Because as I used to say all the time, it is Team Executioner Calling's game to lose. If they want to lose this game, they need to be proactive about it.
Mm-hmm.
And if 101 Tasty Thieves wants to wait, hold on a second. That's not right.
Terrible. You're close.
Terrible Thieves. If 101 Terrible Thieves wants
to... the ultimate coming out from Ziggy Madude on to the remover of Nouns does take him out, and now iLuke in a terrible spot. This is game over. That pick, remover of inappropriate nouns, by overpositioning, pretty much lost the game. There's not much that his team is going to be able to do. The ultimate is coming out from We Spect Me. The damage is coming through. Q Queenie blows up Tiny Panther. Everybody's trying to do as much as they can, but iLuke is left alone, trying to defend his base. The inhibitor, the Nexus towers are falling. That's going to be the ace, and that is going to be the game. The Nexus takes its final breath and finally falls. And Team
Executioner's Calling.
Team Executioner's Calling remain victorious in the end.
And I really gotta say, absolutely well done to Team Executioner's Calling. They played this game like a cohesive unit. It was even cleaner than the first game once they got out of that rough early phase. Cassio did not feel as comfortable in that early game on the Xayah pick as he did on the Jinx pick, but once he hit that 1 or 2 item power spike, once he started get going, he was able to completely roll over and remove the remover of Women of Ill Repute and just completely take over that bot lane much heavier than it was in that first game. So excellent adaptation by Cassio, being able to come in and come from game 1 into game 2 and play an even better game that way forward. We gotta give props to Q Queenie as well. Absolutely consistent, both games, just constantly pumping out damage again and again and again. Always very good positioning, so very well done there. But I think my player of this series will definitely be We Spect Me. His positioning, his use of ults has been 90% immaculate, if I'm going to be completely honest, but his ability to just continuously be in the right place at the right time, land the clutch stuns, land the clutch ultimates, and just be that linchpin to continuously steal the fights and eventually steal the games. I gotta hand it to him. This is a support that's definitely going places.
Absolutely. And so, ladies and gentlemen, that is going to be the final game tonight.
And the weekend, for that matter.
Actually, yeah, and the weekend. We do have show matches every week during our session, so make sure you come back next week. But in the end, Team Executioner's Calling does take 101 Terrible Thieves down 2-0. And so, with that said, I do hope that 101 Terrible Thieves are able to look at these games from an objective standpoint and look to improve, notice their mistakes, and continue on.
That's really what this all comes down to, is improving. So to both teams and to everyone watching, I'd suggest going back and watching the VODs, not only for our incredible wordplay, but also for just to be able to see exactly where these teams went right and where they went wrong. And look at at that. The remover of women of ill repute actually did build Executioner's Calling at the end there. Good job.
Oh,
But,
look at
but just go back, watch it again, look at as the game's played on, think to yourself, what would I have done in this situation? What could have been done better in this situation? That's the best way to improve, is to just think through these things and bear them in mind as you move forward into future games.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, and that is going to be it for us. So make sure you check down below. You can read about what this program's all about. Make sure, if you haven't already, please join our Discord where everything takes place. Make sure you follow our Twitter so you can keep up to date on all of the show matches and all of the events happening with Learning Fives. And if you play Heroes of the Storm, well, we have the program for you. Heroes of the Storm does now have a Learning Fives Discord server where you get paired up with teammates and a coach, and you have practices every now and then you look to improve, just like the League of Legends Discord. Make sure you follow the YouTube channel where you can catch the VODs
And highlights.
and the highlights. And also, if you haven't already, go, I think it's like our Facebook page or whatever you do on Facebook.
Thumbs up the page. I don't know. Don't worry about Facebook, but follow us on Twitter as well. We always announce whenever the games are going live. I'm gonna let Sir Potato take a break here, and I'm just gonna say from everyone here at Learning Fives, thank you all for watching. I hope you all enjoy your week, and we look forward to casting for you again next week. So you all have a wonderful night on behalf of the production team, on behalf of coordinators and all the other people, and especially the program directors that are just so very useful on these production weekends. Thank you all, and have a good night.